we call them.
This is from Israel Guerrero. Berenice.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call our meeting for the Workforce Development Board to order for January 18th, 2024 at 8:55 a.m. Roll call.
Ignacio Alegre, Brent Bisley,
Here.
David Elliott,
Here.
Jack Healy,
Here.
Margie Nieder,
Here.
Patrick Cortes,
Here.
Maria Rosa Lopez, Enrique Perez, Robert Reese,
Present.
Robert Tucker,
Here.
Johanna Rivera,
Here.
Daisy Campos,
Here.
Dennis Barnum,
Present.
Gil Araujo, Annabelle Neri, Veronica Hernandez, Rhonda Miller.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Thank you. Proceed to the Pledge of Allegiance. No, we have we directors.
Yeah. It's a flag usually by the stadium.
By the stadium. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we can go over the consent calendar. If there is no further discussion, do we have a motion to approve?
Move to accept. Second.
Thank you. And, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. And that's the end of the consent calendar. Now we can move on to the business calendar to go over the 2024 meeting dates for the 2024 year.
So staff has in there an attached calendar of the meetings. It looks something like this, about halfway through the packet. And so if you approve this, then it'll be given to the city clerk and then she'll post it on the city's master calendar. For the Workforce Development Board, we have it every other month, January, March, May, July, September, and November. If staff doesn't have, actual items, we'll ask to cancel it. And then in the opposite months is our subcommittee meetings. On our bylaws, we have a Program Oversight Performance Committee, Santa Ana Youth Council, and the Business Resource Committee. They would also meet every other month. However, in August, we tend to go dark because of vacations, as well as December, I chose to go dark unless the Youth Council has to meet instead of trying to fight getting everyone to come to a committee meeting. So if you could please approve this, unless you want to discuss your meeting dates and times, this would be a good time to do it.
Move to approve the calendar as presented.
Thank you. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. Move on. Agenda item number 7 is to revise the individual training account policy, ITA. The recommended action is to approve the revision to the individual training account. The policy to increase ITA training cap from 7,000 to 10,000 per individual and minor edits to reflect the current language. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. That's the end of the business calendar. Now we have a work study session with our guest, Annette Whittle from the Original Workforce Efforts.
Good morning, everyone. It's been a while and some new faces. So I'm just going to go over some of our regional initiatives. We did get our regional and local plan submitted. It has been a while, so it's been a while since I've been able to provide an update. So that was submitted last year. We had to get it in by June 30th of 2025. And as I speak on that, I'm going to talk about the next 4-year plan is going to be coming up. So currently, the Department of Labor has released the guidance to the states on the 4-year plan that they need to put together. So that is going to be due to the federal government. So they released it August and it will be due in March of 2025. So we should probably see some guidance around June that comes out for public comment for the regional and local plans. And probably the last guidance was finalized in October. Hopefully they finalize it sooner, but I'm going to say there was not much change between what was released for public comment and then what was finalized in October. So we can probably start looking at that in June and getting our calendar ready to see what we need to do to put together those plans. And then it will be due to the state in March of 2025. So as a part of that regional plan process, we do have to have some public convenings and board participation. We haven't had a 3-board meeting in a while, but we'll probably schedule one somewhere around that time where we need to convene to kind of work on those regional and local plans. We'll likely do a unified local plan as we have in the past 2 years. So we'll continue down that road to do that. So outside of that, the work under the regional plan, we have 2 current grants, which is the regional plan implementation 5.0 grant. And we also have the regional equity and recovery program grant. Now that grant is a collaboration with the chancellor's office at the state level and our local community colleges. It's the first time that the state has kind of collaborated with the chancellor's office for the community colleges to basically put in money from both sides of the house. So they put in $10 million and then the state moves some state funding to fund the 15 regions throughout California with regional plan funding. In this particular grant, we're required to actually serve participants this time, so we have not had to do that at the regional level. So as a part of this grant, we have 4 community colleges that we will be working with. I should say 4 entities. So there's North Orange County Continuing Education. We have Santa Ana, Coast, and Saddleback that we are going to be working with as a part of this RERP program. And we are getting started, I would say, in some ways. We've had our meetings with our community colleges. We've kicked off things. However, we have contracts that are going to city council for Anaheim and Santa Ana to solidify that and to kind of move this program forward. But under Coastline College, they will be doing a cybersecurity and supply chain management certificate program. North Orange County is going to be doing a Amazon Web Services program, and then Santa Ana is going to be doing a ICT certificate, and Saddleback is doing a medical lab technician program. As a part of this grant, we're going to be serving veterans, English language learners, immigrants, first generation college students is our target population. And we are also kind of trying to work with our colleges to identify different ways of really supporting the population, whether that be through maybe cohort training versus traditional trying to move through enrollment in the semester process. We've worked with our community colleges already on some cross collaboration workshops between the 3 workforce boards and some of the community college staff members at each of the colleges. And so that's been going well. We have another meeting next week to kind of bring together our findings and just continue to build that relationship. So from the state level, they really want us working closer with our community colleges and ensuring that we are in alignment in the work that we are doing. I have been participating in the Community Economic and Resilience Program, which is now renamed California Jobs First. So you may have heard the word SURF, but now it's California Jobs First. So they're rebranding that across the state. We are well into the planning process. So the region, there's 13 regions that the state designated that somewhat in alignment with the Workforce Development Board regions, right? But we had $5 million for the planning phase, which OCBC is leading that SURF initiative. And we now have the Catalyst program as well as the implementation funding that's going to be coming down. We just submitted the plan for the Catalyst funding, which one supports just the continuation of what they call the High Roads Training Committee and supports OCBC in continuing the work as well as some of the community-based organizations that have been participating. And then 9 million of that 14 million is going to go towards supporting grant individuals who are not quite ready for implementation, but do have some types of plans to, so get them to the point that they would actually are ready for implementation grants. As you some may know, we've got some budget issues at the state levels. They have basically confirmed that they're not going to take any money from the SURF program. However, they are going to spread it out over more years. So for the implementation, there's about 268 million that is allocated towards that. They're going to release about 73 million of that. That's going to be available this year. And to 2025, 26, 100 million, and then another 100 million in 26, 27. So that's kind of how they're going to roll it out. So instead of making that all available at once, it'll be spread out over several years. Anything else? So as we move forward in our regional work, one of the things that the three boards have decided is to focus on the IT sectors. We have 4 industries that we focus on as a whole, which is manufacturing, hospitality and tourism, healthcare, and information technology. We are going to put all of our might behind information technology to launch industry sector meetings. So we're going to work collaboratively with our 3 boards together to kind of really get a strong industry council convening around the IT sector, and definitely need the board support. So whether you have individuals within your organizations or IT or no other organizations or IT organizations as a whole, we are going to start courting them, I will say, introducing them to the workforce system and helping them to understand what we have to have available from a business services perspective. And as we start to introduce them, really try to draw them into and ask at some point of bringing them in together into an industry sector convening. At that point, you know, our goal would be to have our partners in education to really try to understand what it is that our industry partners need from us. And then we would work collectively from a regional perspective to try to help solve some of those needs, whether they be needs for, you know, an employee pipeline that is skilled, whatever that might be. Even if it's not workforce related, then it's connecting them to the right entities that can support them and making sure that their businesses are strong and can grow in the entrepreneurship. And that's it. Any questions?
Any questions?
Yes.
The governor put out this edict in September of last year called the Freedom to Succeed, which is encouraging the collaboration of workforce development boards, community colleges, and education. From what you've just presented, it sounds like we're already doing that.
We are. So you'll see these different measures, whether that's the SURF Job First program, as well as that one. The money is aligning with it, right? So they're already channeling money. If you look at the language from the Jobs First program, it's about high-risk jobs, which is the same directive that we have from a workforce development perspective. So the language is all in alignment. The funding is coming into alignment. Now what you're seeing, like from a federal level, what we're going to see though in the regional plan, if I look from looking at the TIGO that was released to the states, they want us in alignment with the federal initiatives, so the CHIPS Act and things like that. So we're going to see that language coming down from the state, so that will translate into the regional level. So how that all kind of works together, but they are putting the money where their mouth is. I could say that, right? Any other questions?
Any further discussion? Thank you, Annette.
Thank you.
Great presentation. Thank you so much. Now we have committee reports. Do we have a report on the youth council?
Yes,
Turn it over to Tom.
our next meeting will be February 8th. We've had some delays getting people available. And I just read through the state workforce development report, and 11.2% of our population is 16 to 24. And that's about 2.2 million people and young people. And I'd like to see how we can be more competitive with getting more organizations to come out to be funded by the Youth Council. Some organizations say you have too many rules. Yes, we do. That's a goal. So our next meeting is February 8th, and anyone's welcome to attend.
Thank you, Bob. Any other comments by any other staff or board members?
I have a couple comments. The manila envelope on your table is a calendar for 2024. I'm sure you probably have multiple calendars by now, but I want to highlight it because it's photos of youth that have participated in either the WIOA grant, the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Grant, the Santa Ana Youth Grant, or the California for All Grant. And so there's testimonials of how this program has impacted their lives. And we tried to capture them, or staff was asked to capture these photos at their workplaces as well. It's been a success. The California for All, the goal, we've had it for almost 2 years now, was to serve 290 youth, ages 16 to 30. We've surpassed that, and we're at a little over 350 youth that are participating in that. And we're in the process of resubmitting a grant to the state to continue the California for All funding, which is to engage youth in nonprofit work experience or in government work. And I'm asking staff to tally it up, but I'm starting to hear City Hall has picked up several of our youth to start their careers in the public sector, whether it be through public works, code enforcement. I can't remember the other agency, but it's a good place for them to learn about how to run a city, and every job here is important. Everyone has a role in that, whether it be Santa Ana or another city here in our community. So that's a takeaway for you all. And then staff is also working with Santa Ana Unified and the Chamber of Commerce for a job fair, February 16th, Friday at Saddleback High School. If you are an employer that have vacancies, feel free to reach out to me and we'll get you a table or see if we can get you in at that job fair. School's not in session, so it's open to youth as well as adults on that Friday. I don't recall the time.
So it's 10.
The 16th,
I think it's 10 to 12.
10 to 12 on the
February
16th.
16th, 10 to 12.
Yes.
What
It should-
location, sorry?
Saddleback High School. And I can get you connected to Araceli Delgado, who is starting to register employers for that event.
What are the times again?
10 to 12. And then we are handling as a region between the 3 workforce boards, Pizza Hut. I don't know if you heard in the news, they laid off all their drivers and they're going into like an Uber Eats type model of delivery. And it's about 500 in the South and LA County, Orange County and whatnot. So the 3 workforce boards have been collaborating with Riverside, San Bernardino, and LA County to present a unified package rapid response information so that no matter where that laid off worker lives, they get very similar information. And I think that starts next week. And they're doing them by Zoom so that anyone can do, and they've got like 5 or 6 dates and times for anyone to participate in on that. And then, like I said, we have 3 vacancies in our workforce boards. So I'm looking to invite people to join us. Love to see them if they're in the hospitality, tourism industry, healthcare. Natasha Milotovich was appointed Tuesday night. She's representing Ultimed. So I'm really excited to have Ultimed join our board because there's several clinics here that serve our Santa Ana residents. As well as then manufacturing and IT technology. And manufacturing can be all gamuts, from our food manufacturers to our electronics and heart valves to everything in between, as well as Matt representing the new way to transport in the future. So if you have anyone, feel free to reach out to me and I'll talk to them and the time commitments. And then I passed out a report that Carlos put together in the first 6 months of this fiscal year for us. We go July to June. We're averaging about 981 visitors. It's an uptick from our COVID days, which when it was, almost 0 to about 1,000. It's still not where it was pre-pandemic. Now, we did have lower activity in December. The last 2 weeks of December are usually much, very low. But, last year he said we were at about 10,000 people in a year. We'll see where we are this year. The staff is saying they're starting to see an increased activity of people wanting to come and use our services to look for work. So that's the good news. But in the meantime, we've also deployed staff to go out in the community. So they've been going to a lot of community events and postings on social media and working with our neighborhood associations to let the residents know the work center is here, as well as all three one-stops in the region are available for anyone to look for work and vocational training. And then with you approving today's policy change, that will allow clients to look at larger types of training programs without having to take on the debt on their own. So while on some of it, it doesn't cover all of it, it'll cover a good portion of it. So now their training options have expanded. Because we've also seen training providers had kept their prices steady for the last 5 years. It's been tough the last 12 years for them to maintain that, and they've been having to increase them. So staff's been having to change and say, oh, things are going up. Even UCI has finally had to increase their rates. And UCI is a great training provider for our adult learners. So thank you for approving that policy. Staff appreciates it, and Carlos is excited to roll that out. That's all the reports for me. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any additional comments from staff? If not, board members, any comments there?
I read through that state workforce development board, so I found some interesting statistics. And one thing for our area, it said that since the pandemic, we've recovered 115% of the employment, which is good for our area. The one statistic that stood out being part of the youth council is that the percent of people in this state that over 25 that have not finished high school is 25%. And so that was kind of like surprising. I'm sure people are looking for work and couldn't finish school, but that's where a lot of our partners come in to help with that. So it's surprising. It's an interesting thing. So
Thank you. Any further comments? If not, I think we can adjourn this meeting. Thank you so much. See you in March.
Thank you, everyone.
Right, Daisy.
Yeah.
There you go. Kick us out of here. Oh, did you mention about validation?